Hello again, this is another one of my recordings from chessworld.net, also known as playchess.com. Also, don't forget to check out my blog on chessgames.livejournal.com. Today I'm having a look at Queen's Gambit Declined, the Ragozin variation, which is d38. If you're new to the game and you're just having a look at openings, you probably realize there's an overwhelming number of variations for the Queen's Gambit Declined opening. And if you're black, you're trying to figure out, should I accept or should I decline? Well, that's something that you have to figure out. But in this case, you're declining as black. And then you have to play on from there. So I want to show you, before this game, I want to show you the traditional Queen's Gambit Declined. And for that, I have to flip it and show you the 4 opening moves for the Ragozin variation, which I said is d38. So it opens with d4, d4, d5, e3, d4, d5, c4, e6, knight c3, knight f6, knight f3, and bishop b4. So that's the Ragozin variation. And Bobby Fischer, who is probably one of the better known chess players in the history of the game, had great success playing against this opening as black. So you're in good company if you're looking to improve your game by playing against people who are employing this opening. And his matches, he had some notable matches between about 1959 and 1961. So we are not Bobby Fischer, but we are people who love the game of chess, and we're looking to get our game better. So let's have a look at this particular match that was played back in the spring between myself and another opponent on chessworld.net. Starting off with d4, d5. E3, knight f6, c4, e6, knight f3, bishop b4. So you can see the similarities between this and the Ragozin variation if you're familiar with the opening. So he has to block there with the knight. So he hasn't really left himself an opportunity he hasn't blocked with the knight, with the bishop rather, which would have prevented this doubling up of the pawns, which is not a great idea in most people's opinions. So he winds up with a second doubling up of the pawns in there, which you'll see in a couple minutes, which kind of trips him up a little bit, causes him some problems, just in terms of his mobility on the board. Let's see, that's one thing I wanted to note on this. The other is a rather foolish mistake on my part, and that cost me a rook that I wanted to note. I'm looking to score a pawn up here with my knight. He's not going to tolerate the presence of my knight in there, so he swaps. I take out that knight, and so look what we've got here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm going to make a threat against that rook and swap queens, and then I'm going to park that bishop in there. And this bishop is the one of the key players in checkmate as it happens here. So, and I'm going to bring up my rook. He's got a bit of a pawn. He's really got some aspirations here to bring these pawns forward. He really wants to try and advance and get a queen back a little later. It doesn't work out for him, unfortunately. So here's my mistake. Now it's kind of a no-brainer. You've got a recipe for disaster that I've created for myself here. I've got 1, 2 rooks on a black diagonal, and I've got this white bishop, which of course, or rather in the dark diagonals, excuse me. 2 rooks on a dark diagonal, and I've got a bishop that moves on a dark diagonal. Well, what does he have to do to capture a rook? Well, he just has to move here. It's not too hard. I'm going to lose one of them. I might as well take out a pawn, and then I get to capture a bishop. I lose some material. I lose a point, basically. But it's still, when it comes to checkmate at the end of the game, you really do. It's nice to have 2 rooks to play with. So in any event, as you can see, I've got to the mid to late game without losing a pawn. It's just an interesting observation. How do you get there without losing a pawn? He's only lost, what has he lost? 1, I guess? 1 or 2? Yeah, so this is how we've got to here. Coming up, I'm going to show you what Fritz, which is the software I'm using here, thinks of this game. And let's see here. I want to show you the how Fritz decided he wanted to play this game. Okay, yeah, this is how the computer decided it wanted to play this game. So this is where I am here, in terms of my my play about to make a final play on for checkmate. But the computer had different ideas that resulted kind of in, if I could just play it through rather quickly, it resulted in this. Again, because at the end of the game, it sure is nice to have a lot of pawns to play with for advancement in the end game, if it comes to this. And really what happens here is that while he's got a rook, he's forced to surrender. But having said that, this is how it actually played out. He decides to move down here, looking to capture a pawn. I wondered why he didn't either kind of challenge the presence of this bishop, which might have just simply forced the bishop down here where he couldn't touch it anyway. But anyway, or at least check the king and see what he could have come up with. Maybe force the king to move around or something. But he didn't do that. So this is how the game plays out, and that's checkmate. So, interested in your comments on this game. I'd be happy to post the actual text of how the game plays itself out later on. Anyway, again, my name is Brad, also known as Hard Dazed Knight, and check out the blog, post on this game, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.